Guys, welcome back, yet another episode. We're going to get the car running this episode, I'm going to do it. I've just gone to pick up this later model sender unit because basically the pickup inside the tank is not working. Try not to kill myself with all these wheels. I also smashed my headlight because I tripped over all these wheels which I've got in here. So I won't be driving it to any car show, which is tomorrow, because I'll have one headlight. But this is the sender unit. As you can see, it's in pretty bad state, but it's just temporary. I've got a new one on the way. All I need it to do is pick up fuel and pull it to the fuel pump, so I can let the car run off the fuel that's in the tank. So yeah, let's get to it. Basically what I want to do, this is the side where the fuel tank is and the fuel pump is. Keep this side in the air, drop that side down so all the fuel sits in that side of the tank. You can take the unit off here, put that one in, whack everything on, prime it and see what happens. So let's get to it. Alright, so now we've got that up in the air, essentially what I need to do, I don't even know if you can see what I can see. Can you see what I see? There. So that little thing there is what we're trying to get to, but it's going to fall everywhere. So I need to be careful and do this very slowly. When I say do this very slowly, I mean just whack it because I'm running out of time. Right. Get ready. Please don't pour everywhere. Oh, thank God. So this was actually a new sender, and that essentially sits in the tank and tells me how much fuel I've got. But now that I've done that, I can have a look in there and get a sort of a look at the actual state of the pickup. I can't imagine it's awful, but I think there's just an attachment on the end that's dropped off, which is why it's not picking up. Also, I'm having to do quite snappy videos because it's that hot today. My camera is actually overheating, that's how warm it is. It's ridiculous. But we don't slack round here. So essentially what's happened is the pickup off the end has dropped off. Which is annoying because the tank isn't awful, but this new pickup essentially sits at the bottom. What I'll do is I'll put that video in so you can also see what I'm seeing. But for now, let's check that'll descend on and make sure it fits, because if that does fit, it's going to sit right at the level where we need it to. Also, that fuel didn't look an amazing colour, I'll be honest, which is slightly concerning. Suggests to me that maybe the tank is not in the best condition. Okay, actually no. The colour of the fuel is fine. What it is the surface rust at the bottom of the tank. But you will have seen in that video, the backs of it are fine. It's literally just the bottom where I was silly enough to leave water sat in it. I want to upgrade it anyway for a bigger tank at some point. Right, so let's get the other sender unit and whack that in. Right, so this sender essentially sits at the bottom of the tank. I'm hoping it's going to work, but it is for nearly a year, so it may not. It may actually hit with the pickup. But let's give it a go and find out. I know you're thinking that this is an absolute mess, why am I bothering to use it? Because I want to make sure I iron out any issues with the car running, any leaks and stuff like that, so that when the new sender does arrive next week, we're just good to go, we're ready to go, and jobs are googe on and stuff like that. So get in there. There we go. Right. I could really take this float off, but I'm not going to. Why does that not fit? That's concerning. Now that I've got that end in, sneak it over here. Come on. Get that in. Go like that. It's too long. I can feel it hitting on the bottom of the tank, which could mean it's going to starve it of fuel. Or is it this locking tab that's getting in the way? It should go like this. Yep. Right. Let's get this back in. Get some wax on this with the complete wrong tool. There we go. Right. Now what we can do is pull that line that goes in here and run a new bit of fuel that goes from the rubber straight to there. So let's give that a go. Let me see if I've got it. That's way long enough. So let's get this line off here. This is not fun trying to get lines off these copper bits, and I also can't get into this one to get it undone. Really, I should just lie on my back and try and get it out. It's going to be the easiest way, really. Ow. Very, ow! Okay, no, tell a lie, I can't even see the line from down here. This is tight. Right, so that's one hose there. There's that bit of line gone. With ridiculous length of fuel line, but it'll work. Get that on there. Make sure we've actually got fuel clamps where we need them. Let's not cause any issues. Alright, that should be enough. And if it isn't, then tough, we'll have a fire. But I just want to get it running. Cool, sweet. There we go, we're all done. Right, so now that I've got that all plumbed in, I'm going to go to the front, connect up to the float bowls, do all that. And then I'm going to try and start it on this fuel tank. I'm also going to lower it down so obviously the fuel is where it needs to be. Clear some space and see if we can reverse it out of the garage. Let's do that. Turn the ignition on and see what happens. Right, let's make sure there's nothing. I'm going to run over. There's probably loads I'm going to run over, but not really that bothered. My cheap little pump for now. see. Right, that's pumping fuel. Let's make sure there's no leaks. Right, yep, got a leak. Right, so basically the float chambers have got a leak in them. So let's sort that out. Right, let's try again. Idling so high, it tells me that I leak somewhere. Right, so it's now the following day, or 2 days, or 3 days, I don't know, I've lost track of how many days. Essentially what you saw was when the car started up, the revs were at a slightly elevated level, and then they climbed and climbed and climbed, which told me I had an air leak somewhere. So I didn't film it because it was just a nightmare to try and film, and the camera kept overheating. But I pulled the carbs off, checked all my gaskets, tightened everything down, replaced the intake and exhaust gasket, and yeah, I think that's pretty much sorted the air leak. The other issue that I had was that once that was sorted and the revs were down to a normal level, if I would give it some throttle, the revs would go up, it would stay up, wouldn't drop back down. I could see that my throttle wasn't sticking, but what was happening was the piston that's inside of the carb on the left hand side would go up, but it would never fully return, which is strange. Dash pots were fully oiled, car's been completely cleaned. I've not polished the insides. It might be worth me pulling the carbs today and polishing them. But we've got a bigger issue than that. I'll throw a video in here. But essentially, it looks like we've got a blown head gasket on this spare engine. Which obviously no one's fault. It's just when an engine's been sat for ages and when it's getting lifted in and out of a car with the weight on the head, then there's bound to be just stretch and load, or it shouldn't be load. It might not be a blown head gasket. It might just be condensation that was sat in the engine and I haven't flushed it correctly, but I just don't know. So best thing to do will be to get the head off and just have a look. I could drain the oil and check how much water's in there, but you'll see from that video it looked like a lot. It looked a lot of water. So I'll go check the dipstick now and I'll see what we can see. So I'm not sure, well, I'd help if I didn't shine my torch on you, but dipstick's looking a little bit milky, but not crazy. Smell wise, it just stinks of fuel. Could it be the amount of fuel that's getting in? It's just running way too rich and that's what's causing it. I don't know. Essentially it smells like fuel, like it smells like fuel and burning. So I could take the head gasket off, or I could mess about with the carbs a little bit further, try and get it running and just keep an eye on it. I mean, if it hydrolocks, it hydrolocks. Next Wednesday I'll be taking the block from our other engine that is down there to the machine shop, so we'll start building the actual engine, which will be the engine that goes in it full time and will be a performance engine. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a look, see what I can do currently, and we'll go from there. Right guys, it's now been a couple of days because I have been waiting on a gasket and a load of other gaskets to arrive so we can sort that air leak. Now that I have these, I've gonna crack on. I'm not gonna talk over too much of it because I'm just gonna lock in a little bit and put my music on and get it done. I'll film it, I'll whack my camera and you can watch me do it, but I'll just be ploughing through because I want to try and get it done. I've also had a new sender arrive with the filter on the end, which hopefully should allow it to run a little bit better as well. But I've booked tomorrow off. Tomorrow is Wednesday, which I've booked off, and that's when I'm going to be taking the engine down to machine shop. I was booked in with a machine shop which is really close to me, and then someone in one of the MG groups basically messaged me and said do not go to them, like they're a bad company. So I did a bit of research and they basically went bankrupt like twice, like about 50k in debts, so probably not the best company to go to. I messaged Grace Engine Developments because I was watching his videos on how to actually build the engine, so I thought who better. And I booked in with him, so tomorrow I'll be taking that down. Yeah, let's get on with it. First job, we're going to get this fitted. As you can see, it's actually got the filter on the end, so that should assist with the state of our tank. So let's get that fitted. Right, let's give it a go. You're lucky I've not made you narrate what you're doing yet.
Yeah, that's true.
And now I've done this.
I would just sit there and just go because I don't know what I'm doing. Realistically, you've had somebody come work in your car that's got no more clue than you.
And then Scott left the HT leads off.
Yeah. We sat there for 10 minutes spinning it over, not wondering why it fired up.
And then we were missing one of the gaskets on the car.
Not even that it was missing, it was just
hanging off.
over the hole.
Right, you lot, to get you caught up on essentially what's happened there, because I didn't talk through any of it, I just blasted through it. So Zach, come over to give me an hand, absolute legend of a guy. I was feeling burnt out, I was so close to getting the engine running, I just kept running into issues. First off, did the head gasket, got that all torqued up to spec. Messed around with carbs, my linkage was sort of odd. I couldn't figure out why it was just revving to the moon and back. I had an air leak, loads of other issues. We pulled it out, troubleshooted a load of things. We went through first thing, messed about with linkages, made sure that was right. That was all sorted, that dropped the revs down a little bit. We then still had an air leak. One of the exhaust studs was stripped, so we just whacked another bolt onto it just to tighten it up. So it's a temporary fix, but this is a temporary engine. It's not going to be perfect. We'll notice in the video as well, the valves are so noisy, like the actual chatter from them. I've done the valve clearances and they're just super worn. We think really they could do with like a thou of adjustment. That's how out of whack they are, but they're all within range now, but they're still just so chattery. So currently what I'm doing is getting all my grounds under the dash wired up. Brake lights are not working, one headlight is wired, but I'm getting a few electrical issues like dash not working, gauges, so I'm just going to crack on and get gauges and grounds and all that under the dash done. So let's get to it. Right, so I've been messing about with some wiring back here. Essentially what's happening is I have no tack. I've got a dropped light. What I've got is a solid dark green running to the back of it, but also solid dark green also runs to the flasher relay, which isn't flashing at all on the indicators. So I've lost my wiring diagram, so I need to have a look through for my wiring diagram. From what I can see on the wiring diagram, this gauge also should have a white and black running to it, but from what I can see there is no white and black back here. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let me show you what happens with my indicators. So first off, let's do our lights on. Lights there, working nicely, that's what we like to see. And then let's show you our indicators. So I've got indicator just stays on. I've also got super dim rear lights. They're also mismatched. You'll notice that one's brighter. So what I need to do is figure out why these are dim, and also why my flasher is not working for the indicators, which is annoying. I've also only got one of these LED lights working so far, so I need to wire that up as well. So a lot of jobs to do, but little jobs. Also some good wiring on my part here. Switches off, switches on, supposed to be on full whack here. Put it onto first setting, nothing. Put it on second setting, just like single speed in it. I mean, at least the motor's not seized, it's just my stupid wiring. Go back to 1, nothing, 0, nothing. So it's only got single speed. Which is quite funny, and the motor's also jumping about under here. Oh, no, I thought it had 3 speeds then. So that's off, on, back to off. But that's also off. How on earth have I wired this up? Oh. Okay, so I'm definitely still chasing electrical gremlins. We've got one headlight. Obviously it's a different type of bulb, but that is just way too dim. Shouldn't be that dim at all. Check my grounds, everything's wired up. I also have similar on the rear side. What we've done is ran that wire from there, so it's pulling its power from that one, but when you run it on its own one, that's dim, like super dim. So it's weird. Okay guys, so to catch you up, essentially we got to the bottom of the wiring issues. There's a few little issues with the loom at the rear. The indicators would essentially put on the reverse lights, and the headlights were dim on one side. So we've run some new grounds, rewired everything, and now we have everything working, which is good. I do need to buy a new front indicator. We're going to go on a little test drive. Got Taja in the makeshift passenger seat. I have a little bit of a fuel starvation issue, which is just my fuel routing. I just need to get the lines running as straight as possible to stop that. So other than that, running like a dream. First time. Right guys, so with a little help from my friends, we managed to get the indicators working, brake lights, everything like that is sorted. I've lost my high beam, but I think the actual contact out of the stalk has popped off, because when I'm going around corners I can hear something rattling around in the plastics. Can't get it off because the screws are completely stripped and I don't really want to snap it. So for now I'm just high beaming everyone and blinding them. But I managed to get the car to Tatton Park car show, which was good. There's even a few people there who were there just to see this car, which was crazy. Didn't believe it at first. It was weird. It was so weird. So if you're watching and that was one of you people, then I appreciate it. It means a lot to know that people are actually interested in the build and the progress. I'm not just making videos for myself. But the things that are left to do next, the big jobs, the things that I'm excited about. The engine is currently over at Brace Engine Developments. It's getting the machine work done, and then from there we can start getting ready to put that back together. Also, the trim. I've got a sneak peek of the trim and how that's going to look, but I'm going to keep it a secret. I'm not going to show you guys until it's installed. I'll do a video of us installing it. Only thing I will say is going to be completely custom, so that will be good. Essentially everything we've done up to now has been fixing stuff from the flood, whereas these jobs that we're going to do are going to be making the car one of one. It's going to be performance, it's going to be speed and excitement, and I'm very excited for it, as you can probably tell. So if you are excited to see that sort of stuff, make sure you're following, drop me a like, and yeah, drop me a comment, see what you think we should do on the build next. Another big announcement, I will be at the NEC Classic Car Restoration Show with Classic Car Weekly in November. So if you are down, let me know, say hello. For now, that is going to be all on this video. Do apologise about the wait. The videos are going to be a little bit more frequent now, just because the jobs that I have to do are smaller and they're not going to take up as much time. But it should make for good content because the car is getting to a point where it almost looks like a car. I've been daily driving it. It's been great. It's been fun. My prop shaft nearly came off the other day, but that's a minor issue. I've ordered new bolts for that. So no motorway driving for now. But yeah, thank you for watching along. Make sure you're followed if you're not already. And yeah, drop me a comment. Let me know what you want to see for the next video coming up.